DuckTales, Season 1, Episode 12. Beware the Buddy System.
This one wasn't so long of a title.
Yeah, both of these, both the ones we're going to cover today, Beware the Buddy System and the Lost Links of Moorshire, are, they both fit on one line, so...
Yeah, they're pretty short for a DuckTales title.
Which I swear they get paid by the word on their titles.
Yeah.
It's that sort of Dickensian, verbosity that, just like,
Or at least by the character.
yeah, the paid by how long they can make the thing. But then one day we're just gonna see, like, we'll get to an episode where there's like a single letter. It's like A.
Sorry.
Something's going on here.
We reached our character limit.
Yes, we used up all the characters.
And it's only going to have one random character in the entire thing.
Yep. But we're not 2 seconds in and we were already doing a digression. A little bit of digression here. But beware the buddy system. Yeah. Beaks is still a scumbag. It's like, no, we're just going to take this tech and he literally, like, just the only thing he did was just put a screen on the top of it. It's like, really?
How did you keep it from going evil? What do you mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Why do all his things go evil? I mean, they shouldn't be complicated enough to go evil, but they do.
And not only that, but even sentient, even if he is dabbling with AI and creating sentience, that won't automatically cause them to go evil.
I think, judging by the way he treats his staff,
I think
that might be
he's just a dick.
Yeah, I think he might just be a bit of a jerk, and so he models their personality off his personality, and then is shocked when they come out as a jerk. It's like, I modeled you after myself. Why are you a jerk? Oh.
Yeah, the gear loose in this series is not great. I liked the gear loose in the original much better.
Yeah, he was a little nicer. He was goofy, but he was a heck of a lot nicer about things.
There was an episode that he literally was fixing everything for everybody in the town, so he had to go on vacation to he built himself a time machine to go on vacation so that he wouldn't have to be a tinkerer anymore. And then he ended up being a tinkerer in the Middle Ages.
But
he was so nice and good and pure and kind of that ditzy innocent, kind of that Osgood type or doctor type,
Yeah.
And
this one's a little more vicious. Yeah. His assistant has more of that character.
Yeah. Fenton, I like the change they did with Fenton. Before that, he literally became Gizmo Duck by accident. It was, in the original, Gizmo Duck was created because, Gizmo Duck was just an experiment Gearloose did. And he used, what is the weirdest password that nobody's ever going to say? Blathering Blatherskite. And that happened to be Fenton's, like, not catchphrase, but like
one of his common phrases.
Shucks.
Yeah, his oh
You know,
shucks.
his oh shucks was blathering blatherskite, and so it ended up on him by accident. And then it imprinted on him, so he kind of was stuck with it and became a very much that Boy Scout superhero type.
Yeah, but this one, it's more he chose the power.
Yeah, he's a lot more competent and intelligent and just generally a much more fleshed out character in this one.
Yeah, which sort of made him absorb Gearloose's personality from the original, and then they had
Yeah,
to do something different with Gearloose because it's not quite as entertaining if you have two of basically the same personality. So you got to
yeah.
change something up, and so he became a
And
little bit of a jerk and with
and
that.
by making him a jerk, it accentuates Fenton's innocence. You
Yeah,
know, it makes Fenton the trod upon the little guy and makes you like him more as opposed to just, oh, he's just a ditz. He's actually an intelligent, competent person, but he gets beat down so much.
yeah. He yeah he doesn't quite he's a little naive as well. He's like
Yeah.
he said, your work belongs in the bathroom. Your office is, it's like
Your office is the bathroom. This
yeah,
is where Gearloose said my work belonged, and I'm only just now realizing that was an insult.
yes, which is interesting from Gearloose's perspective because if if he did that and did he think one he was just it was a sort of a to you, okay, you say it belongs in the toilet. You know what? I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna make my office the toilet. You don't give me an office, I'm gonna make my office in the toilet. Ha! Or whether he realized that he was that naive.
I don't know. Maybe he actually didn't give him an office and he asked for one, so it's like, you know what? You should do the toilet. You should go in the toilet. That's where your stuff belongs, anyways. And so he's like, okay, I'll use the toilet as my office, and not realizing that was sarcasm.
Yeah, he may have a faulty sarcasm detector.
Yeah,
He, he
he's a bit too naive for that.
yeah, just too genuine, just too
Too
uh,
honest.
yeah, sincere. He's too
Yeah,
sincere to sort of analyze that. It's just like
that's why he and Launchpad make such a great team.
they're completely sincere. There's not really a bit of sarcasm to them. They're just what you see is what you get. It's
Yeah,
they're not very deep characters in terms of you know you know if you met this kind of person in real life, it's like this is just who they are. They don't have a lot of complexity and you know masks and
well, I
hiding.
mean, as far as Launchpad is concerned, we've at least seen one so far
Yeah, I
that
guess
you've
yeah. Take it.
seen where he's got
Yeah,
backstory
he's got
with the
backstory, but yeah, it's he's not changing who he is to take part of that backstory. That backstory is just information you don't know about him.
yeah,
It's not like he's concealing it. It's just you never bothered to ask.
yeah, and it's more of just it happened
Yeah, and I
and
moved on.
exactly. And also fun little tidbit of information that has not been in the series so far, even as far as I've gotten to,
Hmm.
but he's bi, according to the creator.
Okay.
He his because we've seen a few of his exes now, not seen, but similar to the episode with the luck vampire where you just see him running off to help a friend, an old ex of his,
Yeah.
and coming back all like heroic. And that's happened a couple of times. And so somebody asked the creator about it, and he mentioned how he, um, Launchpad is on good terms with all of his exes, and some of them are guys, some of them are girls. It's more, he's very open to all sorts of things.
Yeah, he has that natural inclination, and then just he has no social restrictions on himself, so he doesn't anybody who would have any problem with it, he just wouldn't understand that they had a problem with it. He
Exactly,
wouldn't
because
comprehend that as a problem. It's like, no, it's just that's cool.
yeah, it's
I
like,
don't understand you. What do you what he
what do you
probably,
mean? What do you mean it's weird to like guys and girls?
yeah,
You like who you like.
yeah, he's just that's how he is, and then he is too oblivious to feel restrained in any way. So he's just like, eh. And if you tried to bring it up, he'd just be confused.
Exactly.
It's like, what? I don't
Because he's
understand.
so innocent and pure as far as like socially speaking. He is so true and just pure that nobody, all the bad stuff, he's just like oblivious to. All the negativity of any kind. He's just like, eh.
Yeah. If that's the thing, if that's how it is, that's how it is. Though I doubt we'll get much in the way of confirmation in the series, but
Yeah, they don't really mention his exes so much as just he says their name and you see him run off to take care of something, and then at the end of the episode, he's gone for the entire episode. At the end, he comes back all heroic like he did with that one,
yeah,
with the with the luck vampire. That's kind of a running theme.
yeah. But
So on my on my notes, they had actual Jim Cummings as Darkwing Duck because no one else could be Darkwing Duck,
of
and
course,
they gave a nice homage to him by naming the actor Jim Starling.
yeah. And I found that interesting that um that Darkwing Duck was they made it a fictional thing in that universe.
Yeah, and that it was Launchpad's favorite series as a kid
Eh,
because he was a Darkwing Duck fanboy in Darkwing Duck too. So
yeah,
that's
and
kind of an interesting thing. Plus, it was the same actors as the original.
mm-hmm. But yeah, it was
And
man.
his reaction when Dewey's like, "What is this show?" is the exact same reaction I get when somebody says that about one of my childhood favorites. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean you've never heard of this?
Yeah.
You've never heard of Pinky and the Brain or Animaniacs? What?
Well, and yeah, just thinking about it, I got that nostalgia hit thinking about the Darkwing Duck theme song. It's like, yeah,
Yes.
it's like, let's get
Get dangerous.
dangerous.
I love the little bobblehead he has.
Yeah.
Remember, Dewey, a true hero thinks with his gut or not at all. Um, that sounds like something Madrock would say.
It's a bold move, Cotton, but let's see if it works out. That's basically always playing in the background. Um, but yeah, and it's interesting to see the bulb tech come back this episode.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, how'd you get past the evil? Oh, what evil? Oh, okay.
What do you mean evil? It's just a stupid robot. Stupid robot. Buckle up, boys. We're going for a ride.
You know, in it's just a good idea that if you have anything that can kind of understand what you're saying, best not to treat it disrespectfully if you can. Just in
Yeah.
case. Just in case. Especially when it's driving you around. It's like, no, don't talk about the robot that way. We're cool, right? We're cool, right?
Winner gets free candy for life. Oh, no, that's better. Winner gets to be Scrooge's personal driver. May the best man. Oh, ow, ow, robot hand.
But yeah, it was like one of the rules for villains. It's like if I keep a mind controlled pet, a giant mind controlled monster at my disposal, I will also treat that thing with great care and respect, so that if this mind controlling device were ever to fail, it will not turn on me.
Yeah.
It's like, that's but one of those. But yeah, we got first instances of Gizmoduck, so that's
I like
interesting.
that they kept the classic design of them.
Yeah, it didn't change much, at least not much from what I remember. That's the
Yeah,
thing is
not
like
at least not aesthetically.
yeah, that's the thing is if you get it close enough, I won't notice the differences. Like it's like
Besides, I mean, you have to have some artistic liberty because they have different art styles.
yeah,
So
the,
you can't have it exactly the same.
yeah, the current DuckTales is a little harder lines than the original.
Yeah.
The original is
Well,
much it's a
it's
much more
comic art
classic,
style.
soft Disney art style.
Yeah, it's this is more comic book style art.
Yeah, it's a
Whereas
little
the classic was rounder and more flowy.
yeah. Yeah, it's that classic Disney Donald Duck sort of cartoons, that sort of
Yeah.
rounded, smooth.
It was 80s and 90s Disney cartoon that all of them were interchangeable as far as artistry just about.
Yeah, they had a style, and they basically kind of stuck with it for the most part.
And then
You
they
get
just
into
changed the characters and the writing, but the
yeah,
art was pretty much, and I liked the classic art.
yeah. You get to gargoyles, that's completely different, but
Yeah, that one they did something way off. They just jumped to third base
and,
with that.
yeah, and got every Star Trek: The Next Generation character, actor they could, and slapped them in there. um,
I don't remember much about gargoyles, honestly. I remember the premise. I remember the main characters were Goliath and that chick in the red jacket. And then I remember what the other gargoyles looked like, but I don't remember much about them.
yeah, it was.
Oh, and then there was Demona.
Yeah, Desdemona, the villainess.
Well, kind of.
Kind
villainous,
of.
but
Yeah,
more
she.
Catwoman-y.
Yeah, well, she had a thing for Goliath, but Goliath had a thing for the
The human.
the human woman, and so Goliath, he had a thing for her. So she always wanted Goliath, but she couldn't get him because she was evil.
Yeah, she
Or
was
part of her way of
basically
getting him
Catwoman.
was working evil. were doing things that weren't good, and so trying to get him while also doing things that are not good in order to try and get him just didn't really work.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
but yeah, it was, and it's close enough that there's no. There might be a fine line here or there, but it's that sort of nostalgia. If you haven't watched it lately, is kind of like looking at it through a sort of a lens somebody's rubbed Vaseline over. It's sort of
Yeah.
hazy, and you kind of, as long as the shape's right and it doesn't look weird, you know.
As long as you have the overall physique and that emblem, that's the important part.
Yeah,
That it would be like drawing Superman with an L instead of an S.
yeah, or making Scotty in classic Star Trek wear purple. It's like that wouldn't work. That's
Yeah.
not right. That's the wrong color for Scotty in that era.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fun little episode, and
I liked some of the jokes in there. The surprise, nope. Surprise, nope. Supplies?
yeah, that was pretty good. And the fact that this entire time Launchpad has been driving
Try.
without a license.
Yeah. It's like, how are you a driver if you didn't have a driver's license? I have a pilot's license, don't I? Wait, don't I?
Yeah, which makes you question whether he has one.
Yeah.
And if he tries to, you know, like the car has a button he presses and the car pops out wings. It's like, it's a plane. I got a pilot's license. He ever gets pulled over, it's like, I got a pilot's license. See, it's got wings. This is a plane. I'm just flying really low.
Ketchup stain or mustard stain? Mustard looks less like blood.
Launchpad,
And
you are a delight.
sound powered train. That is not feasibly a good idea.
Yeah,
As
he's
as is proven, but I mean just in general.
yeah, because
First of all,
the,
as soon as it gets moving, it will get faster and faster and faster because trains are noisy to begin with.
yeah, and on
Second of
top of
all
that,
the
then you
people.
got people screaming, and that's just
Yeah,
gonna make matters worse.
exactly.
And even if they weren't, and even if it sort of ignored its own noise somehow, one baby cries, and the whole thing,
Crash.
yeah. So, I don't, you have one too many babies on it, you missed your stop.
Yeah, that's okay. You couldn't fit its driver in that tiny train anyway. There's
What is
his
this, a school
innocence
for
again.
ants?
Oh, Launchpad, stop having mail sent to my office. That's for incoming checks and death threats only. Nice to know where his priorities lie.
You'd think he would send his death threat someplace else. Like he would have it opened by somebody else, and then make
I
sure
mean,
there's
just in
nothing
case
in
there's
there,
like
and
some sort of biotoxin.
then once it's just a letter, then he just reads it. And that way, the
Yeah,
security is knowledgeable about who to look out for, who's on the list of undesirables.
I bet half of those are from Flinty.
Or Flinty in a wig.
Yeah,
Which just is it just gives me just this imagery of you know of a different him trying to act like a different person, and in order to really get himself in the role, he puts on a wig and goes, "I don't like
With
you. You
a
should
wig,
die."
and high heels and everything,
Yeah, and then
and still in the
one of his
beard. Even though the beard is detachable, he's still wearing the beard.
yeah
Well,
one of his minions walks in. "Sir, what are you doing?" "I'm writing a threat letter to to Scrooge, but I don't want him to know it's me. He can't see you. I'm feeling the role." "You just wanted to cross-dress, right?"
no, shut up.
"You tell anyone, I'll have you killed." Do you think why do you think I wear a kilt?"
I'll feed you to my sharks. I got a great shark guy.
"Why do you think I wear a kilt all the time? It's the nearest thing I can get to a skirt."
In that skirt.
But yes. Um,
How can you ensure the robot won't turn evil and kill its owner? Now that I hear that out loud.
uh, but
Can it compliment you after a long, hard day's work? Of course. That is a nice gray cardigan, Mr. Beats. You are crushing it. Yeah, but can it pull you out of the wreckage with a warm smile and assure you that everything's going to be all right? No, because it can't crash. Wait, what? What was that?
but yes.
His hypothetical was painful to listen to. Hypothetically speaking, I have this friend who's not me. Let's call him not Launchpad, and he challenged himself to a robot, challenged a robot to a race, which is totally common, you know. And he has this friend, let's call him Launchpad, who is worried. He's not worried, but his friend is worried. What would you say to him, to me, him, I mean us? Yeah, that was just painful to listen to.
Yeah, I think I hit the L key and jumped ahead 10 seconds. It's like, I know where this is going, and it's going to be awkward.
He's also really bad at snack talk.
Yeah, because he doesn't have
He
a
doesn't have an
cool
evil
bone in
bone in his body. He doesn't understand how to be evil or malicious. Man, Mirrorverse Launchpad is probably a total terror.
Well, the opposite version Launchpad is unbelievably evil,
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean.
incredibly
He's going to be a
incompetent.
terror.
He's unbelievably evil, but also completely incompetent. He continues that trait. He's just mirrored on what his alignment is. He's still got all the other traits, and so he's incredibly incompetent. So he tries to do evil, but instead of doing evil, like, he ends up doing good. Like, he tries to bomb an orphanage, but ends up, building a
Killing
whole
some
new,
terrorists.
yeah, yeah, like, accidentally, like, oh, he tries to bomb an orphanage, but the bomb falls off the roof, hits the ground, pops a hole in the ground underneath the orphanage, and oil starts popping up, and it turns out the whole thing's sitting on a big oil reserve, and so now the orphanage is more well off than it's ever been, and the kids are well taken care of. Like, he tries to do evil, but he's incredibly incompetent at it. It's like, I'm going to do the most evil thing I can think of. and massively messes up and it somehow ends up making things better than they were before for the person he's trying to do bad things to.
Yeah, I could see that. Kind of like a reverse Pink Panther.
Yeah, but
So, to Fenton's idea of teaching him how to be safe is covering his entire windscreen except for one tiny spot with post-it notes.
yep,
How is that supposed to be safe?
it's not. He was
And
so
don't
concerned
crash.
about all these different things that he overthinks it and so ends up missing the obvious problem.
Yeah. Don't crash. Wait, what? And why are there real bikes and real skates on a cardboard kid in the race course?
Mm.
Everything is cardboard. The houses, the people. And then there's an actual bike and actual skateboards on a cardboard kid.
Rule of funny.
Yeah. Officer, arrest this man. The cop is cardboard.
Yeah, just book. Oh.
Is there anyone having a worse day than us? Nope. Just getting kidnapped by an evil killer robot. That's pretty par for the course. So you've been a robot this whole time? I'm not a robot.
And that's the thing. The one invention of Gearloose that doesn't go evil is one that has a doesn't have a mechanical mind. It's like
Yeah.
it's like that's what we need. It needs to be, you're good at dealing with augmented people, like giving them things to wear, like the suit, Gizmo Duck
Yep.
suit. But you don't try making them mechanical mind because you're really bad at it.
Well, that was the point that he made before. If you remember, Gizmo Duck was created, at least conceptually, in the episode with the money bin, with the Great Dime Chase. Because he was talking about how robot goes evil, robot becomes sentient, robot goes evil. I
Yeah.
become robots. So he
Yeah. Yeah,
so
which
that was
which
the
al-
point.
yeah, which also, that same episode, you know, even the Project Blatherskite was on a piece of paper or something. It's
Yep.
like,
Yeah, that was
yeah, that was even foreshadowing. It's like,
yeah. Because as soon as you see the word blatherskite, you're like, Gizmo Duck. At least anybody who knows the classics is. This entire series is like a whole mega nostalgia thing in all the right ways.
it's basically a giant shout out.
It is.
But it has enough of its story that even if you didn't know any of the history, if you didn't know any of the history, you can still watch this and fully enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
But it also
it
has
is
little shout
definitely a
outs
standalone.
that
It
are
is definitely a standalone series that gives so much fan service, though, that those who love the classic series and even other classic Disney series are all like, ee. And then those who don't know the classic series are like, totally miss it. You
yeah.
know, it's so subtle that those who know about it get it and are like, woohoo. And those who don't are just like, oh, that's cool.
Everybody's you slipped one in there yourself. Everybody's like, woohoo. You were talking about
Woo!
exactly.
Take that, you bucket of bolts. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that offensive? I'm not a oh crap.
Anyway, anything else with
So
Beware
you're
the...
not going to replace me with a robot? Replace you? Don't be daft. Who would I? When would I find another driver as crazy and dangerous as me? And that's why he keeps him around.
Yes. He's
Because
just...
he doesn't have to give him hazard pay.
Uh, he's probably the only one he can get to go with him on his wacky
Insane
adventures, because,
adventures.
like, yeah, like, before him, he went through, like, a dozen pilots that just would not go again with him. And then he
Yeah.
found Launchpad. He wrecks the planes every now and again, but he's really easy to get a hold of, and he's always up to
Eager to
do it.
help.
Yeah, he's always up to do it. So, and you get a driver out of him as well. So,
Mm-hmm. Well, he was a driver first, though. Because where am I going to find a pilot? I'm a pilot.
yeah. Well,
Since when is Launchpad a pilot?
yeah. Well, I mean, he's just get a driver and a pilot all in one, and he's the only one crazy enough to go with him on his adventures the way he wants to. Okay.
And he doesn't have to pay him hazard pay.
But
Because he's too oblivious to realize he should be getting that for all the crap he goes through. He probably gets paid with room and board and maybe a little pittance, and that's about it.
but anyway,
That was, I think, it as far as that was it. Aside from the fact that he is a really good driver for all his dangerous shit. He's like a natural. The way he just like spun the car around at the very beginning and just like parked it perfectly, and Dewey's just like there shaking, terrified.
he's too clueless to realize he's in danger.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's about all I had to say about Beware the Buddy system.
Yeah, that's all. I'm looking through my list. That was it.
All right.